If you want to start creating B2B video content, but the technology is holding you back, then this video is for you. This is especially for you if you think that you need to have some fancy studio before you can get started. This video is definitely for you. In fact, by the time we are done with this video, I'm going to show you what you can create with $350 Australian or less. This is what I call your minimum viable studio. It's a desk-based setup that you can set up in an afternoon. It's equipment that you can order from Amazon, and it's stuff that you're actually going to use consistently, and you'll see why. And you'll be able to do this even if you're not a tech person. So if you're excited about that, then stick around till the end of this video, and I'm going to show you all the products you can get, and they're basically 3, maybe 4 products at most. So in last week's video, I spoke about this idea of a minimum viable show, and this was for B2B leaders who have no interest in becoming video editors, but they want a format to create long form content and be able to clip that into smaller clips and to do this in a hands-off sort of way. Well, in order to be able to begin that process of making that long form content, you need to have a studio of some kind. The good news is the best studio to begin with is just something that is at your desk and equipment that you're going to be using on a frequent basis because you're going to be able to use it for your video calls. It's going to be something that will immediately help reduce the friction that comes from a complicated setup that people think they have to have. So this is this concept of the minimum viable desk-based studio. What this looks like is you think about where you normally do your work. Where is that? Is it at an office with other people? Do you work from home? Is it at a desk? I'm assuming you would have a desk if you're going to be working in front of a computer, right? But it's probably going to be at a desk, right? But think about where you get your work done. Wherever it is that you normally get your work done, that's where you want to have your setup. Because if you're already doing work there, it means that that's the most logical place for you to start creating the content, where you're normally doing work. So set it up where you're normally sitting. Ideally, if you can be in a room that where you've got some control over that environment, that's even better. But just start wherever you can, even if it's in the corner of an office somewhere. But some place where you know that you're ready to go, you hit record, and that's it. You're away and running. This is much better than trying to worry about, fancy large lights, which you've got to unpack each time, and some fancy camera that you got to put on the tripod, set it up just right. All of that creates friction for creating anything. So this whole desk-based idea is you set it up once, it's ready to go. Rinse and repeat. The other thing as well with this, not only are you going to create more opportunities for repetition, not only will it be set up ready to go, it also saves a lot of space. Now, this is especially true for me because I don't have a whole lot of space in this loft area. I don't even have a door. I wish I had a door to this space, but I don't. So I've used what I've got. It's a very small space. I didn't have space for the type of lighting that sits on tripods. So the type of lighting I have, it's clamped to the desk right now, this Amaran light. I've got another one up there which sits on a stand. I've got my monitor clamped to the desk. I've got this boom arm for this microphone. It's also clamped to a desk off to the side. All this allows me to save space. So if you're in this situation where you don't have a lot of space, then this is also the logical setup for you. And this works best for people who are doing talking head videos. If you're doing webinars, LinkedIn clips, anything for YouTube, everything that a B2B founder needs is going to be at your desk. That's the best setup, hands down, for you to get started. Don't worry about going and renting out some expensive studio of any kind. What you need, if you're a B2B leader, to start creating your media business is to set up your studio at your desk. And to show you that, I'm not just making this up, this is how some of the most famous creators started, just with what they had. That is the philosophy. So here's a carousel that I created for LinkedIn some time ago, and it talks about how the most famous creators that we know of started with whatever they had on hand. Marques Brownlee right here. So when he was first creating his channel, all he had was a built-in webcam on his laptop, and he started while he was in high school. And now this guy has a massive channel, tens of millions of subscribers. So that's where he started. Real simple. Sunny Lenarduzzi right here. She had an $80 webcam, a lav mic on her top, and she used a stack of books to place her laptop on instead of a tripod. And now she has a massive 7-figure business. She's on YouTube. She's got some really great stuff. This is one of the most famous examples of Gary Vee. He started in the corner of his office using some cheap Canon camera, point and shoot, no lighting, really bad audio, but that's where they started Wine Library TV. And also he has a global empire. That's where people start. They start with what they've got, really simple, basic equipment. But you've got to get started in some fashion and be okay with that. That's, I think, the biggest constraint that people have. They feel like they've got to start fancy. You don't need to start fancy. You just need to start with what you've got. And here's another one, Marie Forleo. Again, she filmed with a webcam in her kitchen. And now she's got a multi-million-dollar brand as a result of getting started with what you've got. And so imagine, this could be you. This could be you with your laptop in front of you and behind it a mobile tripod, sticking your phone in there, and that could be the place that you start. That could be you. That could be your first studio at your workstation. This could be for you. You might decide to go down a mirrorless camera route, get a basic tripod on a table. You just gotta have the courage to start. That's all it is. Have the courage to start. So those are real examples of people who just started with what they had. That is the philosophy. So the things that matter most are these 3 things. And this is what I'm going to be recommending very soon. Audio. Audio first is the first thing you want to look at. This is assuming you have no equipment on hand and you want to get some bits and pieces to get you started. What should you get? Start with audio. That's the number one thing that will determine the quality of the video. So if people actually sit down and watch it, they need to be able to hear you. So invest in audio first. The second thing to look at is lighting. We're not even talking about the camera yet, because you could have a really basic webcam to get the most out of it. Position yourself close to natural lighting if that's all you've got, or get yourself invest in some good lighting, and that's going to make the world a difference. The last thing you want to look at is the camera. So with that said, I'm now going to go through the 3 recommendations, the 3 main recommendations, so you can build your minimum viable studio today at your desk. And for each of these pieces of equipment, you can go to the description of this video and all the links will be there to Amazon. So when you're ready to get it, jump on there if that's for you. So let's go to the first one here. We're going to look at the lighting. We're going to look at the audio first. And this product is fairly new in the market. This is something that I would love to be experimenting with, but I've done the research on this. The first piece of equipment I'm recommending for audio is this Hollyland Lark A1. This is a wireless microphone. This is something that you can clip on to your top. And the reason I'm recommending this one, it's the price. It's not only the price, but that's $66 Australian just for the basic model of this microphone. it doesn't have the charging case. You can charge it obviously, but if you just want to start with the bare bones wireless microphone that sits on your top and it's really lightweight, it doesn't drag down on your top like some other models, that's a great place to start. You'll see here, this one has the USB-C, which means if you've got a phone, a newer iPhone, you'll be able to plug that in. The receiver, you'll be able to plug that into your phone and start recording videos from your phone, and you're going to have really crisp sounding audio. Or you can plug it into your laptop with a USB-C connection. If you have an older iPhone, for example, and you need to have the Lightning connection, for $61, you can get it with the old school Lightning connection. And that's even cheaper. But for now, I'm assuming $66, great price, crisp audio. And this one actually comes with 2 microphones. So if you are working with 2 people at the same time, you can both have a lightweight microphone that goes on your top and it works magnetically. It doesn't drag down, like I said, like some other wireless microphones. You don't need to, worry about getting a lav and sticking it on. Super, super easy. Connects very easily to whatever device you're working with. So, and it's got noise cancellation. Everything you need to get started with decent quality audio. This is much better than using the audio from your laptop. Much, much better. So this, hands down, is one example of audio that you can get. Maybe in another video, I might talk about if you're actually more interested in more of a podcast style microphone and you're wanting something more like this, let me know and I'll do a follow-up video just on that topic. Like if you're actually serious about having that podcast sort of look and podcast sound, let me know and I can do a separate video there. But that's easy. And I forgot to, I've mentioned all that. Next thing. So you've got your audio sorted. The next thing is lighting. And here I'm recommending the Neewer, I don't know how to pronounce that, Neewer LED streaming key light. This is $149 Australian. And the reason I'm recommending this one, it comes with that desk clamp right there, which means you're going to save on space. You don't have to worry about finding a tripod and, getting it to fit in your space, taking up real estate on the ground. This just clips right onto your desk. You'll be able to swivel that wherever you need it. It'll give you soft light. This pack, it only comes with 1 light. So this is just to get you started, right? But it will be fairly soft light for what it is. For a key light, it is, if you want the main light source, you really would like that to be as large as possible. So, but this is just to get you started. It works from an app as well. So you'll be able to turn it on and change the brightness and things like that. So that's an example right there. So here, if you're watching this, you'll see. So that light is connected to the desk. And now here's a pro tip on this one. If you've only got 1 light to work with, that's your budget right now, and that's what you're starting with, and you're finding that even when you lower the brightness on that, you still feel like it's a little bit harsh, then what you can do, if you've got a plain white wall in front of you and you stick that light off to the side at a 45-degree angle, what you can do is you twist that light and have it facing the wall instead of you. So the light bounces off the wall. And if you've got it on an angle, you'll be able to have much more softer light that way. You may actually prefer that look. If you have the light bouncing off the wall, it's even softer, less harsh. And that's just by virtue of the size of this light. Again, this is just a key light to get you started. And when you've got the budget, you might get 2 of these, for example. And have 2 lights, and that you may have both of them bouncing off the walls and giving you the light that you want. So that's the Neewer 15.5-inch streaming key light. The last thing, or yeah, the nearly last thing. This is a 4K webcam, the eMeet S600. This is something that can stick onto your monitor. It's got the privacy cover. It's not the top of the range webcam. Yes, it's 4K. There are better 4K webcams, but this is what will get you started. It's sometimes, these kind of things make promises about 4K. If you're using this on Zoom calls, for example, you're never going to get 4K on Zoom. I'm sorry. The best you'll get is HD on Zoom. But at least you're going to have something that is much better than your built-in webcam that's in your laptop. And secondly, you're not going to have to worry about learning how to handle a mirrorless camera, which could potentially take up a bit of space. It doesn't have to. There are some setups for that, but webcam is easy. It's plug and play. This reduces friction. You can use it for your video calls and for recording content. A tip here as well. Yes, you can place it on your monitor, place it on your laptop. The key here is to make sure that webcam is at eye level, because a lot of time people place it either too low, looking up, or looking down. Both of those views, it doesn't look great. But even if you're starting there, that's fine. But if you want to put your best foot forward, make sure that you adjust the position of the monitor or the laptop. Make sure that it's at eye level, that the webcam is around eye level. That will make a world of difference, just doing that one thing. Now, here is the bonus that you can consider. You don't even need this necessarily, but you might like the idea of getting a fairly inexpensive RGB light to give your background a bit of color. And this is one that you can get, the Ulanzi magnetic light wand. This is only $33 Australian. It's magnetic. So you might find a way to stick it maybe off to the side. If you've got some magnetic strips, stick it on there. I actually need to test this out, but in theory, yes, you could find a place where it would magnetize and stay off behind you, off to the side, and you choose a color that complements your look. It can give you a really nice hair light here. It will separate you from the background. It could double as a fill light instead. You might put it off to the side on your desk, choose a neutral color, a light, the color that matches your key light, your main light, and that could give you sort of that two light setup. Or if you think you've just got this boring background, it's just like a plain white background of a wall, you could stick something like that behind you at the bottom, and it will give you a colored background really inexpensively. And that colored background will just add a little bit of polish to your setup. So those are the recommendations. You don't even need to get that light, that last one there. You can get started with one of two options here. So option one, you could start with the microphone, the basic key light that I've mentioned, and that webcam. That will be around $305 Australian from Amazon at the moment. Prices can fluctuate. This is before taxes as well. This is under $350. For US viewers, that's around $214 US. This is really, really easy to get started. For some of you, $200 US or $300 Australian might be a stretch for you right now. Or you're not sure if you want to go down this path just yet. Well, just start with the audio. That would be my recommendation. You might want to just start with the audio and start using your phone. Especially if you've got a newer iPhone, this will be perfect. And it's got the USB-C connection there. So that could be the first place for you to start. And you could get a cheap tripod to work with your phone. And that's how you start. And maybe you're happy with that to begin with. No worries. That could be a great way to start. You don't have to get these things all at once. Here's the other option. You could get all the things I mentioned before, plus the magnetic light, and that's going to set you back $338 Australian to 38 US. So that, even that, you'll be set for a very long time while you're building your skill set in the content creation space. But you see, this is not breaking the bank. We're not breaking the bank here. We're just getting a minimum viable studio at your desk so that you can get started making content. I hope you see how accessible this is for you and for anyone, because we're not talking about complex stuff here. This is easy stuff. Things that can plug straight into your phone or laptop, both your webcam and the audio. The lighting will be really simple. We'll just, plug it into a PowerPoint. Some of them may just have a rechargeable battery, but it's within the realm of being figure-outable, as Sean Cannell will say. So I'm going to end on this note, just as a final thought around this idea of just getting started with what you've got. I've been reading Think and Grow Rich. I've been rereading it the last couple of weeks. I'm on the chapter called Organized Planning, and this line I think is perfect for this idea of just getting started with what you've got. And it says this: most of us go through life as failures because we're waiting for the time to be right, to start doing something worthwhile. Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand. Work with whatever tools you may have at your command, and better tools will be found as you go along. Amen to that. So if you are interested in any of those products that I've shown you, go and check out the video description below. All the links will be there. If you're interested in seeing what equipment I currently use, you'll also see links to that. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, give me the comments below, let me know what you think, and what type of content you would like to see moving forward if you're trying to create B2B content for your business. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.